Welcome back to our channel World of Coins, the place where we uncover hidden treasures in your coin collection. Have you ever wondered if that old coins could be worth thousands or even millions? Well, today's your lucky day. We're diving into some of the rarest and most valuable US coins that might be sitting right under your nose. Let's jump in and see if you've got a fortune waiting to be discovered.
Top 1. When it comes to modern coin collecting, there are certain dates that don't immediately strike the average person as particularly special, but to the trained eye of a numismatist, they're nothing short of extraordinary. One of those dates is 1965, a year that forever changed the way the United States produced its coinage. The Washington quarter dollar minted in the year may seem like any other pocket change at first glance, but within this common year lies a world of hidden rarity and numismatic intrigue that has shocked collectors and investors alike. This is the story of the 1965 Washington quarter, how a seemingly ordinary coin became one of the most valuable pieces in American coinage history. To truly understand the significance of the 1965 Washington quarter, we need to go back to the economic climate of the mid-1960s. Up until 1964, all dimes, quarters, and half dollars were made of 90% silver. But with rising silver prices and a nationwide coin shortage, the U.S. Treasury made a bold decision. Beginning in 1965, quarters would be made from a copper-nickel-clad composition rather than precious silver. This monumental shift marked the end of an era and the beginning of a new chapter in American coinage. However, during this transition, not everything went according to plan. In the rush to adjust to the new coinage system, a few rare 1965 Washington quarters were mistakenly struck on leftover 90% silver planchets from the previous year. These extremely rare error coins look almost identical to regular 1965 quarters, but are significantly heavier and ring differently when dropped. Most importantly, they contain silver, a composition that was supposed to have been eliminated. Discovering one of these silver 1965 quarters is akin to finding buried treasure in plain sight, and they are among the most highly sought-after errors in the hobby. But the story doesn't end there. Even among the standard copper-nickel quarters of 1965, certain variations have turned heads in the collecting world. Some feature double-die errors, where the design elements, especially the date and the word Liberty, appear slightly doubled under magnification. Others have off-center strikes, clipped planchets, or other unique minting anomalies that make them one of a kind. And for collectors, it's not just the error itself that matters, it's the condition. A 1965 Washington quarter in pristine, uncirculated condition, especially one graded MS-67 or higher by a professional grading service, becomes exponentially more valuable due to its scarcity in such quality. Adding to the intrigue is the fact that no mint marks appear on quarters from 1965, 1966, or 1967. This was done intentionally by the U.S. Mint to discourage coin hoarding during the transition period. As a result, pinpointing the origin of a 1965 quarter, whether it came from Philadelphia, Denver, or San Francisco, is virtually impossible without knowing its full minting history, which only deepens the mystery and fascination around each individual coin. Imagine, for a moment, stumbling upon a coin in your change that dates back to 1965. It looks like any other quarter, feels like any other quarter, but what if it's not? What if it's a rare silver version? Or an extraordinary mint error preserved in remarkable condition? What if that single coin, overlooked for decades, is actually a key to a small fortune? It's a thrilling prospect that has sent thousands of collectors digging through jars, rolls, and collections in hopes of finding that one incredible piece, and it has happened. In recent years, one such remarkable 1965 Washington quarter, an error coin struck on a silver planchet, preserved in nearly perfect condition, was sold in a private transaction for an eye-watering $145,000. Top 2. Have you ever taken a closer look at the change in your pocket? Most people don't think twice about quarters. They're tossed in parking meters, vending machines, or piggy banks without a second thought. But sometimes, just sometimes, a single coin among those everyday pieces turns out to be something truly extraordinary. Today, We're going to dive deep into one of those unsuspecting treasures, the United States of America Washington quarter dollar from the year 1973. This coin may seem ordinary at first glance, but its fascinating background and potential value in the collector's market will leave you stunned. Now let's step back and understand the coin itself. The Washington quarter has been a part of American currency since 1932, introduced to honor the 200th birthday of George Washington, the nation's first president. Over the decades, it's undergone several design changes and material shifts. By 1973, quarters were being made with a copper-nickel clad composition, no longer struck in silver as they were before 1965. The obverse of the coin still carried the timeless portrait of Washington, designed by John Flanagan, while the reverse featured the iconic heraldic eagle with wings spread wide, perched on a bundle of arrows above olive branches, symbolizing strength and peace. Now, while 1973 wasn't a landmark year in terms of design change, it's what happened behind the scenes at the U.S. Mint and what has emerged since then that makes this particular year fascinating to coin collectors. Over 346 million of these coins were minted in Philadelphia and over 232 million more in Denver. However, it's important to know that not all coins are struck perfectly. Errors do occur, and in the world of numismatics, those errors can transform a simple coin into a priceless treasure. Collectors are always on the lookout for varieties like double die obverse, where parts of the design appear duplicated due to a misalignment during the minting process. There are also off-center strikes, which occur when the coin isn't perfectly aligned within the press. Then there are the dramatic errors like missing clad layers, where the coin appears with a coppery tone because it lacks its top nickel layer. Each of these rare errors significantly increases the value of a coin, and the 1973 Washington quarter has had its share of notable examples. But it's not just error coins that spark interest. The condition and grade of a coin are crucial factors in determining its value. Coins that are in mint state condition, meaning they have never been circulated and show no signs of wear, are prized by collectors. The scale used to evaluate these coins ranges from 1 to 70, with higher numbers indicating better condition. Coins graded at MS67 or above are particularly rare and highly sought after. Some 1973 quarters have surfaced in this elite category. Their sharp details, unblemished surfaces, and brilliant luster making them stand out from the millions of others minted that year. And when rarity meets condition, especially in a coin with potential historical or minting significance, you get extraordinary results at auction. Serious collectors are willing to pay top dollar to secure that one perfect piece that's missing from their collection. Coin shows, private dealers, and online auctions are constantly being watched for those few pristine 1973 quarters that have managed to survive the passage of time in exceptional shape. Even more intriguing is how these valuable coins sometimes appear in the most unexpected places, forgotten in old piggy banks, stashed in inherited coin jars, or tucked away in estate sales. That's part of what makes collecting coins so exciting. You never know when you might come across one of these hidden gems in the least likely of places. It could be sitting unnoticed in a drawer or quietly circulating among everyday change.so. Next time you have a handful of coins, take a second to look at them closely. That simple 1973 Washington quarter might not just be worth 25 cents. It might carry decades of hidden value, history, and mystery. And if it happens to be one of the rare varieties, in outstanding condition, with that perfect mint state brilliance, then congratulations. Because believe it or not, one such rare 1973 Washington quarter has been sold for an eye-popping $113,000. Top 3. Have you ever wondered if a simple coin in your pocket could secretly be worth a fortune? What if I told you that one of the most common coins in American history, the Washington quarter dollar, could be hiding a hidden treasure? And not just any quarter, but one from the year 1971. It's easy to dismiss coins from the 1970s as nothing special. They're not silver, they're not antique, and they don't appear visually different from the quarters we use today. But that's exactly what makes the 1971 Washington quarter so intriguing, because hidden among the millions produced that year are a few coins so rare, so pristine, and so fascinating in their characteristics, that they've fetched jaw-dropping prices in the world of collectors. And one of them in particular has sold for a staggering amount, and today we're going to dive into why. The Washington Quarter series started in 1932, and by 1971, it had firmly established itself as a staple of American currency. What made the 1971 quarter unique wasn't a major design change, but rather what was happening behind the scenes at the U.S. Mint and what has emerged decades later through careful inspection by numismatists. Coin experts who devote their lives to studying every curve, mint mark, and subtle error a coin might possess. In 1971, the Mint produced quarters at both the Philadelphia and Denver facilities. Unlike earlier years, there were no proof coins made for collectors because the San Francisco Mint didn't strike any proof sets in that year, making pristine examples even more desirable today. Now let's talk about why some 1971 quarters have risen from being pocket change to collector legends. It all comes down to rarity, condition, and sometimes the strange quirks that come out of the minting process. Coins struck with doubled dies, coins with off-center designs, or coins that accidentally missed part of the metal layering process. These become instant stars in the world of rare coins. And when you combine a fascinating mint error with a coin that is nearly flawless in condition, graded at the top of the scale by professional grading services, you have something extremely special. But the condition alone can also turn an ordinary coin into an extraordinary prize. Imagine a 1971 Washington quarter that has never been circulated. No scratches, no dullness, no signs of wear. It retains its full, original mint luster and has razor-sharp details, from Washington's hairlines to the eagle's feathers on the reverse. When such a coin is evaluated by a grading service and awarded a grade of MS67 or MS68, that's Mint State 67 or 68, it instantly enters a league of its own. There are only a few in existence at that level, and collectors will do almost anything to add such a rare example to their collection. Auction houses know the power of this appeal. That's why, when a top-graded 1971 quarter or one with an incredibly rare error comes up for bidding, it doesn't just attract interest from local collectors, it draws in international buyers, major dealers, and passionate investors. These rare coins tell stories, and stories are worth money. One coin might have survived a rare double die strike. Another might have been struck on the wrong planchet, a coin blank intended for a different denomination altogether. Some were preserved by accident, tucked away in original mint sets or forgotten in private collections, untouched for over 50 years. The fascination doesn't end with collectors. Everyday people have stumbled upon these rare gems by chance. A grandfather's old change jar, a forgotten envelope of coins saved decades ago, or a flea market find that turned out to be a historic prize. These are real stories, and they prove that the treasure might still be out there. That's what keeps the hunt alive for so many in the coin world. Every coin tells a story, and every pocketful of change is another chance to uncover history.so. Before you toss that 1971 quarter into the parking meter or drop it in a donation jar, take a closer look. Is it sharp? Unworn? Unusual in any way? Because one such 1971 Washington quarter, discovered in extraordinary condition and preserved through time without a flaw, was once sold to a passionate collector for the astonishing sum of $126,000.